Record, and let's get this nonsense going. All right, so you guys probably at least read some of the campaign info. It's pretty brief. It's going to take place around a small village of called known as Livingwood. I know Johnny is actually a native and it's been living there for a while. The rest of you, let's see, we have two people that are part of guilds, so traveling around and like buying and selling shit is pretty common. I know our cleric is one that explorers and all that nonsense. And I guess the only kind of wild card is Bill, but Bill is actually all about, you know, getting knowledge and stuff like that, so travel's kind of in his name as well. So,
Mad scientist.
mad scientist. So, with Livingwood, it's not exactly on the main road. It's kind of just one of those, I guess you could say, off ramps that you can take from the main road to kind of just get a pit stop or do some minor trade. Um, So most of you guys have actually been by here a few times just from doing whatever business from major city to major city with whatever guilds or just exploring. Um, so recently you've heard of rumors about there. One of the kind of the unique things about Livingwood, besides the forest that's to the north, is there's a circle of standing stones, kind of similar like a Stonehenge, that's actually relatively close to one of the farms that surround Livingwood. Until recently, most people just kind of make up their own thing about it. You know, that's maybe magical or some nonsense. But for the most part, it really didn't do anything. People kind of just walked around it, sometimes hang around it. But recently, as of like a couple of weeks ago, one of the stones actually toppled over and like crashed down the hill a little bit. And beneath that stone was actually a hole that seemed to go rather far, rather deep. But no one's really approached the place since the toppling of the stone. It's been people have been rumoring that it's cursed and fear mongering and all that nonsense. None of the local militia have really messed with it. The militia has actually been kind of busy. They've occasionally have to they're kind of undermanned for covering the amount of land that they have to kind of keep under control. There's been attacks from orcs every once in a while as well as bandits. And further back, there was actually an ogre attack, which caused a lot of issues. The one certain person known as Johnny actually managed to save the day. He also scored 4 touchdowns in one game. It was kind of amazing. So, um, Johnny's already in the village, so that's kind of he's already heard the rumors about the standing stone toppling over. One of the other rumors you've actually heard is, well, actually, it's not a rumor; it's actually true. One person, one of the townspeople, there was a shepherd named Kurt, and supposedly he went to go and explore the that hole that was left behind from the standing stone, and he has yet to return. There's already been a post put up in the local tavern for volunteers to go and try to search for the missing person, and there is a small 100 gold piece reward for those who actually bring back any information or bring him back. As for taking the job, you just have to go and speak with Garrett Torque, who is the head of the militia. As for Johnny, since Johnny, you're actually a native, you do relatively know Kurt. He was just he ran his own farm, and he was kind of one of those people that are kind of similar to you, really wanting the adventure, but never really having his moment like you did. And supposedly he went down there to kind of find his moment, and he has yet to return. All right, so you guys are free to do as you please, though you can probably guess where you probably should be heading.
Fuck this, I'm going home.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going.
Well, to be fair to Kurt, 4 touchdowns is pretty hard to follow.
That's a record. It's not going away.
Well, then again, fending off 2 ogres, it's been kind of hard to let down as well. Even the mayor of this village recognizes your bravery and all that stuff. You even were offered an opportunity to join the militia, but you obviously declined for various reasons. Um, let's see. Well, besides the motivation of gold, I know 2 of you guys are actually guild members, which means you actually do have monthly payments to make. So getting gold is usually a good motivation.
Well, regularly, standing stones is something that only druids give a shit about, but people disappearing is kind of a big deal.
Right. As far as the setting, as far as magic's concerned, it's not necessarily it's considered mid normal magic as far as like the how common it is, but as far as like actual spell casters like wizards and stuff, it's generally kind of rare. I mean, for high elves, it's a little bit more common, but for the most part, majority of the area is actually usually humans, and most of them are kind of just they kind of do their own thing. Even religions are kind of on the decline recently. But yeah, so as far as like whether what purpose the stones have, no one really knows because most people aren't really that magically inclined.
All right, now I have a question. Are we going to assume that we've been in town for a couple of days at least, or anything
Um,
like that?
yeah, it's pretty for most of you guys. Even I mean, you've come by often enough, like for whatever personal reasons, and use this as a stopping place that you're generally. I mean, you might not be well known, but you at least stop by well enough to kind of know your way around town. As for the bounty notice, they're pretty much looking for any sort of adventurers. Since most people are farmers or are busy militiamen, they're kind of just taking any passerbys that happen to come by the town.
All right. Then the first thing I want to do is find Garrett. What's his last name? Torque.
Yeah, Torque.
All right. That is step one.
Okay. Also, don't cross any rivers. They'll take years in this setting. I'm sorry.
Ha!
I was waiting for it.
Oh, I had to think about it.
I was waiting for it. The pause made it worth it. Okay.
No.
But yeah, it's easy enough to find the kind of the guard shack for this area. It's not particularly. It's a wooden building. It's not too fancy. There's you do see a. Let's see. Did I even put an age down? You see a gruff man in his high 20s, kind of just talking to a few other militiamen. He's kind of dismissing and giving their orders to send them to wherever guards that are guard areas they're going to be looking over.
All right. Then I'll stroll inside and I'll just walk up to Garrett, give him a wave, ask him how he's doing.
He looks up from the the paperwork he was kind of looking at, and his eyes narrow a little bit, and he's like, well, besides a missing person case and constantly having to deal with orcs occasionally, I guess it's going well enough. Should I assume you're here about what's on the tavern wall, or are you just here to waste my time?
Well, I was going to regale you about those 4 touchdowns, but I guess the missing person case is a little bit more important. Has
Well-
anyone else come in here?
Well, if you're talking about 4 touchdowns, you're talking about Johnny, and he's not part of the guard. But what was that other part you were saying?
The missing persons case. Has anyone else come in here to ask around about it?
Not as of yet. We would go ourselves, but we kind of are spread thin, dealing with matters up in the forest and as well as out in the hillsides, occasionally fending off some random orc raiding parties.
All right. Does the town have a tavern?
Yes, that's actually where you got heard most of these rumors.
Oh, right. Duh.
No worries.
Huh.
Okay, then I'll go. All right. Then Pa used to talk about the tavern being the place where everything starts. So I'm gonna go there, find some friends. I'll be right back.
All right, sounds great.
Is there a guild hall in this town?
Not in this town. This town's about the population's only up to about 200, and majority of the people are farmers. Any of the trade stuff is kind of done in the center area, which is where kind of the usual blacksmith and trader stuff is at. And that's where the tavern's at, of course. So most people that come by here just hang out in the center areas of the town to kind of get information or resupply or rest or what have you. That's where most of the trade happens as well.
All right, then we can assume that I'm in town selling some very fine locks, I might add.
Is this the one that shoots out a little bird, kind of like a clock?
No, not clocks. A cuckoo lock.
Cuckoo lock. Oh boy,
Jesus.
you went there. Okay, so yeah, I'll assume you're kind of either near the tavern or in the tavern, trying to standing on tables trying to sell locks.
That would probably be necessary. I'm not an easy person to notice otherwise.
Yep. You gotta talk like a swindler on top of a table. That's how it works.
The only way for people to trust you is to seem really untrustworthy.
Pretty much. Johnny, what are you doing?
Assuming I get into the tavern just fine, I will go to the wall where the posting is hung up,
Okay.
grab a chair, and then just very casually sit right next to the poster to see if anybody comes up.
All right. You do see a small individual constantly flashing very exotic-looking locks as he talks about them.
Gross halfling.
It's a gnome.
Fuck
How are
girls
my
halfling.
locks selling?
As for our two arcane users, you have heard all the rumors about the stones and possible mystical traits about it, but you haven't really heard any details besides that from the town, because these are a bunch of freaking peasants and they don't really know much about magic.
Well, no need to refer to them in such foul language.
Sorry, it's my dear Lisa.
Well, and I guess I
Alright.
will wander to the tavern to try to find more information about what's going on.
Okay.
And since I love a good mystery, I will follow to the tavern.
To the mystery. All right.
How well are my locks selling? This is important.
Fucking love mysteries.
Do you actually have any locks available to sell?
I actually have just one left. The best lock, the finest lock that I had with me upon my travels is still in my possession, and it can be yours.
All right. Let me see what this is. Oh my god, I'm split between the. Obviously, it would be. Where is it? I mean, there's persuasion, but with you, I want to say you should roll a deception.
You say perception?
Deception.
Deception.
Yes.
Okay,
That's pretty much the bluff check for now.
I got you.
All right. The annoying thing about being a DM is whenever I look through people's character sheets, it actually changes the tabs they're looking at too. Oh, there it is. Okay, so 13, and let me see what you got for the. For the sake of me, what was the market price for the lock? The base price. Do you remember off at the top of your head?
I do not remember off the top of my head. I think it was 5 gold,
Okay.
something like that.
You were able to sell it for 7 gold.
Yes.
You managed to sell it to someone who probably thinks it more of a toy than an actual lock.
All right. Do note that this isn't going into my own coin purse. It's going into a little box that I have on the side.
Okay, that's fine. All right. As you finish your sale, you sale. Keep thinking saying sail like in a sailboat. Anyway, when you finish your transaction, you do see a high elven individual step into the tavern, and soon after you do see a young human. Both seem to be kind of dressed in, well, robes. So they're either possibly mages or they're Jedi.
Do I know what a Jedi is?
No, and you're very
Yes.
glad you don't.
Wow.
Well, before continuing on, I'd like to talk to the innkeeper about securing like a little chest to store some things in for a
Okay.
moment?
You might have to get a room for that, but rooms aren't too expensive here.
That's fair.
Let's see. Again, trade good, lifestyle expenses. To have just a room to yourself, it's a gold a day. And there's obviously chests and drawers you can take full advantage of.
Okay.
So if you want to unload anything that you don't want to carry on your tiny body, that'll be the place.
Right.
Tiny, frail body.
Gotta love that 30 encumbrance limit.
Yeah, right. Now, can I assume, given my high level of wisdom and perception, that I'm noticing someone very, very surreptitiously sitting next to this poster?
Yeah, you have actually heard some rumors about this individual. Supposedly he's very good at football, but also, probably more importantly, he actually stood up against a pair of ogres when they actually attacked this town a while back.
Okay.
So the fact that he's standing next to the freaking bulletin board might be something of note.
All right. I'd also like to ask the innkeeper for a couple of drinks, and I'd like to bring them over and have a seat there.
Okay. For that room purchase, he went ahead and just gave you two. I'm not gonna worry about the small change.
All right. All right. So I sidle up with a couple of mugs that are nearly as large as I am and place them on the table.
So, Johnny, you do see a very small individual carrying mugs that are maybe half his size, carrying him over to the table. It took him a few efforts to get up onto the chair, but he eventually got up there to put the beer there.
I'll do that awkward thing where I can like see that he's like trying to hop on the chair and like start to reach like should I okay, no, he's got it. Okay. Hail, friend. What I don't suppose you're here for the poster.
Well, in fact, I am. I was actually came over to ask you about this because I heard the rumors and I thought maybe I could get some friends together and we could go help this man out.
My
And I
eyes
was
are
wondering
like
if you would be
practically
interested,
beaming.
actually.
Yeah, that's actually why I'm here. I'm trying to see if I can find a few other people that can give me a hand. I think we can help each other. I can reach the stuff that's out of your reach, and you can do like kind of look over you something.
You can crawl around, look for stuff on the ground.
Blowjobs without blowing out your knees.
Oh.
Well, I'm a lot more useful than I look, friend. My name's Nazimer.
Nazimer, I'm Johnny. Great to meet you. And then I extend my
A
hand.
pleasure. I take your little hand. I take your hand and shake your finger.
Oh god.
Bill can't handle these tiny people.
I can't. The other campaign, they're all slaves. I can't
No,
handle-
only halflings are slaves. Gnomes are the people we usually trade with.
Oh god, it doesn't matter. They're basically Khajiit. They're either slaves or kept outside.
Wow, I know it's true, and it extends because I told Bill originally maybe I'll make like a gnome, and then he was like, "Nah, all of them are bad and enslaved. Don't even bother." And I was like, "Oh, all right,
Getting all hopped up on skooma and
Yeah.
shit.
Yep.
all right." So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna give my beer a sippy sip, and then say, "Let's see if we can find a few other people."
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. You seem very capable, but I think we'll need a little more help.
Yeah, Johnny looks pretty. I mean, he's young, but he's also like completely muscular and has a giant maul. So
Just jacked.
Just
huge
jacked.
Jackman over here.
I was gonna say that he looks like he's built like a brick shit house.
Also
some
accurate.
24-inch pythons.
The mall is just for show, friend. The only thing I need are these guns.
Guns. Uh, so as I mentioned in chat, Varus and Darvin, you do see a human that looks like a local speaking with the gnomes before the bulletin board. On the bulletin board does have the notice about the missing person that last was seen heading towards the the druidic circle that you've heard so much about.
Fucking
Wow.
tiny people.
Oh, I know. And being an elf makes it so much worse.
Because elves are racist to
Yeah.
everybody.
Do you have self-respect still?
What?
Do you have self-respect still? Is it hard?
I do. Because you know what I can do? I can reach this item on the top of the cupboard.
He's playing an elf, not a gnome. That means he has more self-respect than some people.
Oh, we're going into this already. You guys lasted
Can you-
22 minutes.
We haven't even met each other. Can you at least meet and then say shitty things to each other?
You're
No,
right.
This is not his character.
I see you're standing next to this poster. I would like to join this quest so I can figure out stuff about these standing stones.
There you go.
Since Johnny looks like a local, I walk up to him and ask him if he knows anything about what's going on. Any more information about the poster and whatnot.
Who are you asking? Oh, gotcha.
The one that looks like he's supposed to be here, Johnny, I guess is his
Yep.
name.
Johnny No
That I
Hands.
don't know yet.
Wow, like he's supposed to be here saying a lot about the gnome.
Town full of
Oh.
humans, a midget with bright hair.
There's a few elves in this town. Not many, though.
But that's
It's
not
not
enough.
But no dwarves.
Good, I was really thinking about taking Dwarven to speak.
See, I usually play dwarves. I wanted to branch out into
Branch
other
out.
short people.
All right. Well, if he approaches me, then I just go, "Oh, do you mean about the standing stones? I know a little bit. I know the man missing and where we could go to get started, but I unfortunately don't know much more than that."
So you don't know anything about the stones themselves?
I kind of like look down at my arms and go, "I'm not into magic so much. That's not really my thing."
So
But
you're
aren't
not the
you
brains
from
of the
here?
operation. Got it.
I am from here, yes. Like I said, I know where it is and I know what happened, but I don't know much more.
I mean, you've never just like gone out there and like, like touched it or hit it or rubbed certain chemicals on it to see what its reaction is?
Before the stone toppled, people did come by there and hang out there and stuff like that sometimes. But as of late, no. As far as during that time, nothing seemed to be odd about them. They've been around since, as far as anyone could really remember. But since it toppled over, people have been staying away from it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I haven't gone out there personally. I have my own business that I gotta take care of, so I haven't gone out there yet.
Well, I want to see them.
I was just thinking we should go out and take a look at them myself.
And there's a reward, so I'll go along too.
Awesome. All right. So as far as just general knowledge about where the standing stones are at, they're actually at a hill that's nearby one of the bordering farms, and you can get there within less than half a day. It doesn't take long to get there, so traveling there shouldn't be too big of an issue. So if you want to do any sort of preparation as far as getting any sort of supplies for what you could be doing, now's the time.
I'm gonna excitedly drag everyone over to Garrett Torque.
All right, Garrett.
I'm gonna try to corral and do whatever I can to get all four of us over to Garrett.
All right.
I'll play along.
Yeah. You know, you could just say,
Don't
hey,
have a
let's
whole lot
go
of
this
choice in the
way.
matter.
We're
That is
already
pretty
a
much what I'm
team.
doing.
To be fair, one person they don't even. There's not really much of a fight. You just pick them up and you just carry them, one-handed. All right. Well, Garrett's still there. He's doing his usual freaking guard check stuff.
All right, I'm gonna walk in, and is he still at his desk?
He was actually outside the door, kind of giving orders to a few other people.
All right. Well, I'll walk up and just go. Don't worry about it. We're on the stone case.
He looks over from the conversation he was having, and so you're actually gonna try to do this. And he looks and he sees the three
The
people.
Best crew he's
The
ever
best crew.
seen.
two disgruntled looking people. One of them being an elf, so they're always disgruntled.
Not
And
disgruntled.
Not disgruntled.
Elves
They're just
don't know any other
condescending.
face.
And-
I'm perfectly
and half a person.
gruntled. I'm perfectly gruntled.
All right, so I guess you did manage to get some travelers to join you. You guys are actually here for the same thing, right?
Yep, we're gonna go check out the stones, find Kurt, do everything that we gotta do.
How much do you know about these stones?
Beyond the fact that they've been around forever, not much.
Yes.
I mean, children.
Yes.
I mean, heck, children come over to play over there until it toppled over a few weeks ago. When it toppled over, people have been kind of avoiding it. I mean, such giant stones just suddenly toppling over. It's kind of something might take as a freaking omen.
Uh-huh.
But despite telling people to stay away from the place, Kurt decided to go, try to do his own adventure. Beyond that, some say that the toppled stone has been called the Devil's Step now, and supposedly it's cursed, but no, I don't know any proof of anything like that.
Why would you step up to go to see a devil?
I don't name these things.
The naming convention's terrible here.
They just call it a Devil's Step because it's a step. Since it's now toppled over, it looks like a big stone step. As far as why it toppled, they assume it probably is the devil.
But like, giants.
Are you here for a reason?
Yeah, I'm figuring out the stones. That's
Well,
all I
you can
wanna know.
walk your ass over there and take a look if you want to. There's supposedly a hole there. And last I heard, no animals have been hanging around that area, so you shouldn't have to worry about any sort of wolves attacking you or anything.
Sweet. No jizz wolves.
Correct. We
Well,
all know.
I would
I
suggest you
I
read
too
up
have
more.
heard the horror that is the jizz wolf.
Yeah, I've heard about it in passing.
Are they made of jizz? Do they slobber? I
I
don't.
wish
Johnny,
I'd
you
not
are
been
out of
able
your
to do
element.
that.
Jizz wolves was not a thing I anticipated being a problem today.
Well.
Great. That's a new fear that's going to haunt me for the rest of my life.
But it's as I told you, Johnny. If you bring back any information, or more preferably, bring back Kurt himself, there is a reward.
Are there any books here that I could read about this stone?
Not that I know any. I mean, you could try the witches out in the forest, but as far as I know, no one's really ever seen any.
Witches are so weird and unpredictable.
I agree. But your best bet for something this ancient is seeing it with your own eyes, I guess.
Sweet. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, you are.
I'm gonna study it up and down.
Study that step.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna call it the devil's step. That's just weird.
It's a toppled standing stone's all it is.
Yeah, that's really it. Or like an ogre's step, or
Thankfully, I'm not the one that named these things, since I'm using a pre-made venture that I converted.
that's good.
This is actually an old 2nd edition adventure.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Oh, what? That's cool.
I converted over to 5th. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, if I know anything about converted adventures, bloody.
All right. Is there anything Anything else you guys want to do, or are you guys gonna head over to Standing Stones?
Well, I'd like to drop off a few things in my room.
Yeah, go for it. I'm not gonna worry too much
How
about it.
how
Right.
far away did you say they were?
It's like less than half a day. I mean, you can easily go there, look at stuff, and head back if you really want to. But
Question.
as for the hole that's supposedly rumored to be there, you don't really have any information of how deep it is or anything like that.
Hold on, there's a hole there?
Let's throw the nose
Yeah.
in and see how deep it is.
Where
What?
that stone fell over, underneath it was a hole.
Oh, maybe I can dance some lights down there.
Yeah, you can. Did you actually get dancing lights?
I did not get dancing lights, don't worry.
Oh,
Is it because you have dark vision already?
Yep.
well, why do
I
you think I
thought
didn't
about
get
getting
light?
I thought about getting light, and then I could just toss something in, but I have dark vision.
Hey, it's always that's the trick about being a mage. You get to try some shit outside the box.
Yeah. The only thing I'm trying to help everybody see is the knowledge that's in front of them, not the actual sight.
Corny.
That's the best catchphrase ever.
Exactly.
It was good. I'll give it to you. I actually remember seeing that there was a temple here. I'd like to make a quick stop by there.
Okay. It is a shrine to Sarenrae, which is the goddess of like healing and the sun and stuff like that. So praise the sun.
Yeah.
Yay.
All hail Gilgamesh.
As far as like any general stuff you've heard about the shrine, it's just where it's run by just one person, and the attendance there is kind of low. Just that's kind of in general with all deities nowadays because people just don't go to church, and so she's been getting enough freaking like donations and stuff to kind of make ends meet and keep the shrine running.
Okay. Well, I wanted to go in and talk to the priestess there.
Okay. Actually, at this point in time, she is not there. The door's unlocked, so you're free to actually enter, and there's actually a donation box, but you're free to kind of like pray and do whatever. But beyond that, it seems to be just an honor system.
Okay.
Yeah, since she's the only one that runs the place, there's chances where she's just not there.
Fair enough. I'll drop off the money that I got from selling the lock in there.
Okay, 7 gold. Gotcha.
And I'd like to take a moment to take the amulet out from under my robe and pray a little bit.
Okay. Yep. Yep. You do your standard prayer, and you have that same usual sensation about actually, doing your duty as a cleric. So nothing seems to be wrong, and there's definitely no issues with praying at a temple of Sarenrae. Sarenrae and I can't remember the name of your deity. Is it Desna?
Yes, Desna. They actually have close relations.
Yeah, they're generally in good relations, so definitely no issues.
I checked and I figured my character would know it because they actually have the religion skill too.
Yep. Okay. Anything else you guys are doing?
I am buying some rations and a bedroll. That's it.
Okay.
Have
they changed the
Can we
prices of rations at all? I don't remember.
It's 5 silver.
Is it still 5 silver? Cool.
Should probably do that too. But since I'm technically from a farm, can I assume that we'd have like a wagon that we could take over there?
I have a wagon.
Yeah. Ironically enough, there's actually a party member that does have a wagon already. So and ironically enough, Johnny is skilled in land vehicles.
Oh
That's
my
a skill?
gosh.
Land
Yes,
vehicles?
land vehicles, which covers everything from
Wow.
wagons, chariots, and M1 battle tanks.
Yes.
We can get a battle tank here?
No.
Aw, why mention
Yeah,
it?
this town sucks. We can't get one here. We gotta go somewhere
But this
else.
town sucks. It doesn't have tanks.
Let's go to the capital. That's the only way we can rescue Johnny.